Welcome to the last chance qualifier for HGC 2024, the Hanzo Genji Cup, ladies and gentlemen. So, Infernal Shrine is our first map. We are in another best of 3 series, and essentially in the last chance qualifier we have 4 teams. Those are the teams that performed the best in the first 2 qualifiers, but they just didn't quite make it. So this is their final chance to make it into the top 6 and participate in the final phase of the tournament, where they can play for the prize money of $1,000. And we are playing a GSL style group between the 4 teams. So essentially what happens, we have Team A versus Team B, Team C versus Team D, then we have the losers match, the winners match, and the consolation match. And if you win 2 matches, you make it into the final phase. If you lose 2, you are out. If you are familiar with StarCraft, with any kind of RTS, then you've probably seen this already. We've also run a few tournaments recently where we did the exact same thing, so it should be familiar. If not, I'll lead you through the process as we're going from game to game. But currently we are in the first round match, and we got Squeal Team 6 going up against the SL Enjoyers. Now, this entire tournament plays out on the North American server, so for the Europeans, that means that they have to play cross-server with a ping disadvantage. Definitely a bit of a handicap, but they have started to adjust by playing a bit more macro, and it's also being reflected in the drafting process in the first place. You see some of the Americans specifically target globals in some of their bans, and also when it comes to map choices, things have changed a little bit. We still have a few tracer picks on the European side, as we saw yesterday, for example, with HGC EU Lul, the team where Dino plays, and they were able to qualify. But today, last chance qualifier, first match, and Squeal Team 6 starts things off with the Fruit Fly. We got Brightwing. Alright, and we got Blaze on top of that. No draft rules for this tournament. Been talking about it a lot, but again, when we're talking about the Hanzo Genji Cup, we have no draft rules. There are no pre-bans. You can pick the same hero every single map. We don't have any bounties. It's just a completely vanilla tournament. I've been asking for feedback already in the past few games. If you have any, please write it in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube right now. If you would like to have rules as we had in the past, where you can only play hero once within a series. If you prefer this kind of format, always nice to know that, and again, we're going to take that on board. Another quick note, we had in the past couple of videos, I hope this is fixed now, but we had problems with desync eventually sneaking in with the audio. It wasn't too bad, but it was a little bit of a nuisance. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have absolutely zero idea how that crept in and what the cause is at this point, because the setup here hasn't changed whatsoever. There's a couple of options that I can look into, but I'm also getting a new PC in a few weeks' time. So before I literally uninstall and reinstall every single piece of software that I have on my PC trying to figure that out, I might get lazy. Now, I've changed 1 or 2 things for today that might solve the problem already. I hope it does, but in case that we're hitting some of that desync, you know what's going on. Some people didn't even notice it, so yeah, there's that. Then again, we got Hogger, we got Tychus, Jojo as the main tank currently for Infernal Shrines. Always nice when you're playing on the Shrine that you get all of that AoE damage that you can provide against the Shrine minions. Tychus is basically, I don't want to say a given on Infernal Shrines. On the European side, he has really fallen off a little bit. In this case, it is actually the Polish team that picks him, but I would have expected him to be played no matter what, because if the Europeans don't pick him here, NA really likes to play Tychus still, even outside of Infernal Shrines, so it would have been a bit of a shock to not see him at all. But we now got Brandon on Vala, and we have Maiev. So already a lot of AoE on CC. Vala could also go into multi-shot. We've seen a few, very few, but we've seen some multi-shot plays recently. Now, of course, you can still go full auto attack style, but if there is one map in the pool where multi-shot might be a good option for you, it is Infernal Shrines, because you get a lot of value when you're playing on the objective. You hit the opponent, you start to get additional stacks, and then in the same process, you're getting also good damage in. Now that we have Porky with Uther as a main tank, that changes things. Now we have a double support, and then Vala can go auto attack style. Kelthas on the side of the Europeans, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into game number 1, last chance qualifier for the Hanzo Genji Cup 2024, and Infernal is map number 1. First game of the best of 3 series, we have Porky on the left for Squeal Team 6 with Uther. Uther main tank, so we have a double healer as Nintori plays Brightwing. That would allow Vala to go into an auto attack style. It's one of those true and tried plays that we have seen for a long time now. Uther has been falling off a little bit as a main tank, but still something you can definitely play, and this is what they're trying to do here. Brandon on Vala has now decided to go into auto attack as expected. We have Naz on Blaze and Chaotic on Maiev, as the European team on the right side of the map is playing things out with Richu on Hogga. We got Lavakal on Malfurion, Arian on Tychus, Kalthos played by Alvaros, and Atrax is playing Johanna. So, good stuff here. Still a fantastic team name from the red team. Sexy Probius and Squeal Team 6 were probably my favorite team names from the last 2 qualifiers. And specifically here, let's go. We'll make him squeal, boys. So, on level 1 we got Mana Addicts. Again, Vala is going auto attack, so we have her with Creed of the Hunter. And they are already farming a few more stacks against Johanna here. And Atrax might actually fall. Damn, that was really close. Jojo might have been the first one to fall here, but is able to survive, so good for her. But that was still a bit clutch. I honestly thought that she would go down. So, let's see what Brandon can do here, and also what we're getting as the game continues from Kalthos. Personally, I really like for Kalthos to be played because of Gravity Lapse, and Vala goes down! That's a perfect kill there against exactly the target that you want to take down. The Europeans with a banger of an opening here. Double kill against the blue team. Not only that, but they also took one of the Gambit stacks from Vala down with this. So Vala dying this quickly, the 2 supports not being able to keep her alive. That's a huge setback. That's 5% of the extra auto attack speed that she got through the choice on level 1 already gone. Massive problem here for Squeal Team 6. That is definitely not going to boost morale for them. Their camp got stolen, they lost 2 heroes, Vala lost the stack, and as far as openings on Infernal Shrines go, that is a great one for the red team. And as I say that, the blue team comes in and just steals the camp. Alright. Alright. That made it a bit better. Doesn't make it great, it still does make it a little bit better. In experience, to be fair to the blue team, we also see them not too far behind, so it's not like they're in risk of falling behind by half a level or a level for the level 7 talent and shrine number 1. Big damage now at the bottom of the map, and I really like the way that they're trying to break through that wall this early on. This is, by the way, also the lane where the objective spawns, so if they're able to grab the Punisher, they should be doing a lot of work on that fort. They might be able to take the entire thing down. Now they take a tower, the gate, and maybe even tower number 2. It's a bit surprising to me that the Enjoyers are not reacting more aggressively to this in order to defend. Shrine is activating now in 15. Level 6 is ready for the teams. Bit late on the camp here too. I'm not quite sure what's going on the red team side, but it feels like after they were able to grab those kills, things kind of slowed down and they're a little bit out of sync here. So they're rotating towards the shrine as well, but they are late to the party. The blue team has already taken position, and Squeal Team 6 is now starting to take the minion lead, sitting at 10. But it doesn't seem like the red team is really trying to fight here. At this point, it's a bit more likely that they're just saying, well, you get the first Punisher, we don't care. We want to really leverage Tychus later with this ult and play Odin. So we're not even contesting this. But normally when you do that, the whole goal and the idea is that you're getting structural damage, so you at least get something out of it. And I just don't really see it here. They got the early level 7. That gives us for Kalthos now Burned Flesh. But the objective has definitely been given up. And they will have to defend at the bottom of the map, which is going to be a tall order since, as I explained earlier, the wall's gone. The wall's gone, the towers are gone, so at this moment, what is going to be your play? You're going to be dealing with a Punisher, unless of course you get some kills now. If you're yeah, Uther, Brightwing for their save, and they're not quite following up on it. Vala with 56 stacks by now, so she's been doing a bit more work. We now have a topside. Blaze doing his thing. Naz is moving through. Arcane Punisher is ready, and this is likely going to take that fort out. If they would have been able to kill Uther, blue team would have most likely delayed it further, the Punisher. That might have given them a chance here. Now it's likely that the Enjoyers are structurally falling behind. We have the side laner still sitting in the middle and the top lane, but the fort is dropping, and it's dropping quickly. Once that your wall's gone, it's just tough to defend this properly. So, yeah, tough times for them. Now, when we're talking damage, Vala, despite the death that she suffered earlier and the setback that comes with it, is currently sitting at 12,000, which puts her into the top spot. Punisher gets baited over. A long jump, by the way, here from him. And with the next objective, we should get level 10 for both the teams. Tychus will then have Odin. By the way, ugliest mount in the entire game. Like, honestly, every time I see this, I think people should sue Blizzard because it's an assault on your eyes to watch that thing crawl across the floor. It's just like, blah. Disgusting. 10k damage now also for Khaldor. He has the advantage of using Gravity Lapse as a follow-up to anything that Johanna can YOLO out there. And depending on what Hogga does, if he goes Shockwave, for example, he could also follow up on that. Or just team up here. A lot of sustain, of course, with Uther plus Brightwing for the blue team. And at the top, it's a bit of a trap that's being set up. Full Chinese bush meta right here. It was actually Infernal Shrines, like, way back when we had the Chinese teams really going crazy, where they used the Chinese bush meta and made it one party after another. Back then, the Chinese were the best playing with Vision. It was one of the things that caught a lot of the Western teams, in particular, totally off guard, how well the Chinese were using Vision throughout the entire game in order to keep the opponent guessing and make it really difficult. And those Chinese party bushers were always spectacular, and way too many players fell for it. Disc, by the way, missed, so Chaotic wasn't able to connect this ult here. We have Heroics on both sides. There's the Shockwave, but a lot of heals are coming in. Vala now with the Rain of Vengeance as she's trying to take aim at Hogga, who gets tethered in again. Tries to move out, and Richu survives, but Malfurion is low and gone. He's dead, and Khaldor wasn't even here. That lazy Night Elf. Actually, I don't really care. I know he's not a Night Elf. People are gonna get mad. They're gonna say, like, he's a Blood Elf. I don't care. He's an elf. He's an entitled little fucker. So, yep, we don't like him. All the tree huggers need to go. Elves are there. We don't need them. 2 kills to 1. One at the top is now taking damage. The one at the bottom has been taken out. It's getting a little bit thin up here for the Europeans. They need to do well on the next objective. So, yeah, they need to topside try and take this one. It's, by the way, also one of the reasons why you should hold onto your fort for now, because once the fort's gone, that means your fountain is going to get destroyed too, and then you have no sustain on lane any longer. So, yeah, a little bit tricky. Brandon on Vala, nearly at 100 stacks now for his level 1 quest talent, so that gives him more auto attack damage. Has only died once so far. We've only seen 3 kills. But this is the objective now, and this is going to be an important one. Hogga's still down at the bottom of the map, so is Brightwing. They're both trying to get the team to level 13 so that they get the extra talent. Yeah, Gravity Lapse is already out. And Uther, if I'm not mistaken, used actually his level 7 in order to ensure that nothing happens there. Oh, Blessed Shield missing. That's a problem. Atrax not able to connect it. Ping problem? Who knows? Maybe just bad aim, or he's drunk. That's another solution. Polish vodka is pretty amazing, so I wouldn't even blame him. It's the weekend after all, but whatever the chaos, he missed the Blessed Shield. And now the blue team also has level 13, so they're starting to take the lead on the shrine as they're moving in on it. The attack still keeps coming as another grenade gets thrown out, tempered by Discipline. We're now having Odin, and off we go. So, the big boy. Can they dish enough damage out here? Usually you don't really want to fight into Odin, but there's the bunker. Disc is being used too. Arian does as much damage as he can, but the double support makes it a little bit difficult for the red team to get a kill. Now they're going for Uther, and they get him. Uther is gone. Nicely done. Vala therefore only relying on a single support. Once that the ghost is gone, Alvaros gets caught and gets killed. So now it's a 4 versus 4, but Vala! Blessed Shield is back, and this time it connects. And it's a kill. And, oh, they're losing my F2. With Vala dying for a second time, that means she loses another 5% of her auto attack speed. So, really a problem for Squeal Team 6. She is stacking nicely though, but 2 deaths already. They haven't even hit the 10-minute mark. That also allows the Enjoyers to take over on the Shrine and claim the next objective, which is going to be a Mortar Punisher. With 23,000 damage for Tychus, 20,000 for Khaldor, Vala has 31,000, so she is by far the top damage dealer in the game. She has to be too. You have a Maiev, of course, on the blue team side, but she is the hyper carry. That's the whole idea of playing this double healer setup that's being run by Squeal Team 6 now. Can they take that fort out, though? That's the bigger question. Can they at least do some structural damage now? So already we start to see them moving in here. The disc is getting YOLO'd out once more. And Itrax trying to move in here. Mortar Punisher with some damage is going to be enough to take the fort. Hoggers at the bottom of the map. It's a 5 versus 4 as the blue team defends with everything that they got here. Jet Propulsion, stun, Jojo in trouble, and she's gone. Jojo is gone, and the fort survives. At the bottom of the map, one camp gets taken. Hogger gets them a bit of extra experience. They're still ahead in kills. But now the blue team sees a chance to go for the top side fort. Goes for it, takes it down. So that's the second fort that gets now removed, which is of course going to increase the passive experience gains that the Enjoyers are grabbing. Yeah, it's a weird game. A lot of good moments by both teams. In regards to structures, it's clearly the American team though that does better. They've taken 2 forts out, they defended their top fort. So it is an interesting one. But there were a few really strong moments for the Enjoyers as well, so we'll see how it works out in the late game. And the thing with the Enjoyers that I keep highlighting, but it keeps being true, is that in the late game, they're making sometimes just crazy calls and very aggressive calls. Maybe not crazy, but definitely very aggressive. And it just works out for them. They see a chance and they're going to take your core. And they've done that time and time again, so you have to be really careful there. Vala now with Manticore, this is really where she also would like to have all of her attack speed bonus, but a lot of it has been reduced because of those 2 deaths that she suffered at the hands of the red team. We get for Malfurion, Nature's Balance, and then again Kalthas playing with Ignite here. 23 stacks on his level 1, not really a whole lot honestly, but again at least it's done, so he has a shield. There's only 1 fort still remaining for them. And it will make things a bit more difficult. The next one spawns at the bottom, the next objective, so they are still in range. Jojo's moving in. They're really hoping to get another Blessed Shield connect. They essentially have 3 real stuns. I mean, they have the Shockwave Hogger too, but they're going to rely on an initiation with the Blessed Shield, I assume, and then Gravity Lapse plus also a Malfurion route to follow up on it. Jojo has also decided to go into the Holy Renewal over here on level 16. Benediction, obviously, for Uther. So he has his double that makes them even better. And yeah, well, attack is now again coming in as they're going through the middle, trying to field an attack there. 5 kills to 3. Level 17 is going to kick in soonish for the red team. But they're trailing by half a level now. So half a level behind, and Vala keeps stacking. She's at 140 now. Has Manticore, and here comes the objective. Everybody is playing this a little bit slower, just very, very calm. And Vala now all the way up at the top left, doing her thing here. Brandon putting some work in with the arrows against the camp. It seems like nobody's even helping him out here, so he's taking it completely solo. The blue team instead is just trying to posture around their opponent's camp and suggesting that they are willing to commit to it, which of course they aren't without Vala, without the damage dealer. 5 kills to 3, and now we're going for the Shrine. So here's the chance to start and make a bit of a play and try and take this out. Odin gets popped immediately, not even hesitating. No time wasted, drops the ult right away. If it's a prolonged battle, maybe you can even launch a second one. Highly unlikely, but again, who knows. We saw 2 blessed shields earlier in the encounter too. So Porgy already sitting at the side here. Hogger's just pogging and gets a lot of hits in for the red team. So while Hogger is having a lot of fun on this one, I mean, look at him. Just perfectly pogging around here. Is going to die eventually if this continues, but the first one to fall is again Porky. Uther is gone. Uther down. And now the next attack as they're starting to focus onto the damage dealers. The Ghost is also disappearing, and that's another objective for the Enjoyers. Nice. Frozen Punisher. The big bad one is in. This one's strong, and they should be able to take that fort out. I mean, the gate is already opened up, so they can't even bait it over to make it easier for them to defend it. Now, we saw Blaze in the middle attacking the fort and nearly taking it. It's not like the blue team doesn't get any value here, but they will at least lose this bot lane fort. And then it becomes a question of how much more the Enjoyers are willing to push all of this. 6 kills, 2, 3, 18 on both sides. Red team still trailing in experience. But they're doing a lot better now with the momentum in the game. They won the last 2 objectives, but they need to capitalize on these wins that they are getting for themselves. And it seems that maybe they're now making also a move for the mid lane fort, at least for the wall. They took the camp. But they're apparently just happy of taking the camps now. It will give them additional experience. It will give them some additional control on the map too. But yeah, not too shabby. So Porky is coming in all the way at the top right. We're now having the catapult that needs to be dealt with. And Hogga is already there and is making a move. Alvaros has dealt with the bot lane, and they're getting all 3 camps, painting the map red. The only camp that they weren't able to get is the one at the top right that has been taken earlier. We have Vala with 150 stacks now, and with Manticore, she's been able to put good numbers in, 41,000. But you can really tell that we have a few heroes starting to catch up with her. 37,000 now for Khaldor, so the impact that he had on the last fight was a lot bigger. We have 35,000 for Tychus. He hasn't died yet either. So he's been playing a very safe game. And with level 20, he's going to get big red button, which is also going to be huge for him, of course. So we're going to get some very strong upgrades here, which in the case of Uther's Redemption, Vala goes with a Farflight Quiver. So she has that. And yep, the next little push is already coming through the middle or the bottom. Vala is just continuing to poke. She's been doing this ever since the game started. Specifically at the bot lane earlier, but now we're seeing a similar situation. So, yep, trying to make the move here. Nintori, alright. Having also a bit of a problem. And, yep, Maiev is moving in from the top, or at least was thinking about starting to flank here. 154 stacks for Vala. The extra range that she has with level 20 should make it a bit easier to stack the level 1 quest even further. And they are now being aggressive. If they can catch Malfurion, which was clearly the target here, that would have been amazing. Disc is out, but is missing. So, no hit there. Blessed Shield has been used. They want Maiev, and they might try and switch over to Vala. A lot of bomb pressure is being spread by Khaldor. Shockwave, Divine Shield. They're really trying to lock Brandon down. But as they're exchanging one ult after another, the blue team falls back a little bit. And everybody out, well, gravity lapse, but only on the way back. So, level 20 for both teams. No objective up yet. Structurally, still a big lead for Squeal Team 6. They have destroyed every single fort. But these living bombs are starting to become a real pain for them. You can see that the poke damage is being problematic for the blue team, despite the fact that they're running 2 supports here. They have 2 healers, but those have to work overtime in order to keep everybody topped up. Brandon, though, with some nice attacks, is at 182 stacks now, but he's also eating tons and tons of poke damage, and that puts more pressure onto the supports, onto Uther and Brightwing. With the Shrine activating, this is going to be where the real party starts, and where likely the game, well, maybe not the game being decided, it could be decided there, depending on who wins the fight. Also, nice move by Maiev at the bottom to escort that minion wave over, so that catapult is likely going to do some actual damage on the keep itself. Probably going to take it down since we have another spawn coming in. Another minion wave has just spawned. But early lead now for the Enjoyers, so they are definitely a lot more straightforward when it comes to their control of objectives. But they also don't have a fountain at the top anymore. The blue team still enjoys a fountain in that position and can fall back to their fort. So this is a bit of a do or die moment for the Enjoyers. They have to fight here. They have to take this. They are getting very much ahead on the objective, and they're trying to kill the bunker in the last second, but I think he has no chance. Blaze goes down, gets absolutely melted. Blessed Shield against Maiev. They're following up on her too. Chaotic is trying to get away here and receives a few heals. Vala still retreating, big damage done, objective nearly taken, and this doesn't look good for the blue team. They already lost one of their key heroes, and they just don't stand a chance in this fight at the top anymore in a 5 versus 4 situation. So the Mortar Punisher gets claimed. This camp is still a bit of a nuisance and might put pressure onto the keep. Bottom keep has already taken some damage, but we're ending up in exactly that situation where the red team is doing work in the late game, where they're making aggressive calls and where they're trying to just finish those games up. 200 stacks for Vala, she's at 65,000 damage, Khaldor is sitting at 57,000, and here comes the Mortar Punisher. The keep will, it will fall. The keep will fall. They won't be able to hold this one. It's just not going to happen. The question just is, can they push further? And I doubt it. I don't think that they're really going to commit. Phoenix is already indicating that too. Would have saved that if they wanted to make a core play here. So unless somebody YOLOs and just goes full Leroy and dies, they are not making that play. But the chase is happening. So they're trying to chase here. Tranquility is already being used. Gravity Lapse as well. They might try and turn it at some point, or they're just sacrificing Kelthas, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Kelthas gets sacrificed. The rest is trying to run. Tychus, they might still be able to hit him. Everybody is playing around the mounts. Tychus caught and also killed. Tychus falls at the top. Rest of the team is on the run. They can't afford to lose a third, but I think this is exactly what's going to happen here. Nice heal. I doubt it's enough. Atrax is also gone. That's 3 heroes eliminated, and this is exactly what the blue team needed. Here come the NA boys as they take the top keep. What a back and forth in the late game. They go for Malfurion. They take him on as well, and this is likely going to be the end. 80,000 damage for Vala. Really well done, well played, and an aggressive performance there towards the end from both teams. But it is Squeal Team 6 with a big chase through the top lane that is able to take lots of heroes out and then go for gold and the lead in the best of 3 series. Nicely done and well played. The Enjoyers lose on Infernal Shrines, and the blue team takes the lead in the best of 3. Nicely done.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, we are on Dragonshire, and Squeal Team 6 is in the lead, everybody, against the Enjoyers. So, the good news is we're getting some great games. The bad news is, according to my Twitch chat, apparently the desync during the game has snuck in again. Interestingly enough, at least during the game, there is no desync between me talking and the camera feed that people are getting. So right now, our current idea, what causes it, again, soon it's going to be a mute point anyways because I'm getting new hardware, but currently we're actually thinking it might have something to do with this tournament being hosted on the North American server. So Hero seems to be the main culprit. Apparently in the previous one where we had the European games, that wasn't the case, so I don't know. People always immediately made the fun, immediately used the opportunity to make a little bit of fun and say like the NA server was always a little bit behind. Doesn't make it any better. So yeah, my apologies for the problem, but hopefully soon it's going to be fixed one way or another. Either because we're moving back to the European server with our games, or because I get a new PC. So for the NA tournament, I'm sorry that you will have to deal with a bit of audio desync during the games, but it's basically just what it is. Either way, we're in Dragonshire, game number 2. The Europeans did well, at least initially, but I love how the blue team just took that chance when the top keep fell, chased them down one after another, and just murdered them. So yes, nicely done. We have Chromie, we get Brightwing, both banned out here on Dragonshire. Of course, a map where you also have to very heavily focus on macros since you need to control 2 shrines in order to get the objective. Junkrat claimed by Richu is the first thing that we're getting here. So, yeah. Junkrat is a first pick, and the double pick now on the blue team side. And let's see what kind of comp the Americans are hoping to play now to get themselves a 2-0 victory. Quick reminder, if you lose here, you're not out of the last chance qualify. Each team has 2 matches. No matter what, you have 2 matches. If you win 2, you are... Well, actually, sorry. That's not quite true. You might have 3 matches. But each team has more than 1, and if you win 2 matches, then you make it into the next round. I'm making this way too complicated. It's honestly not that complicated. Again, we have the first round matches, it's 2, then we have a winner's match, a loser's match, and a consolation match. And that's it. That's really it. If you win the winner's match, you qualify. If you win the consolation match, you qualify. Everybody else drops out of the tournament. We're looking, of course, for our 6 teams that will play in the playoffs and the finals. But I have an ability to make things sound more complicated than they really have to be, which, by the way, is a skill these days. I still remember when I was at university and I started studying, and I studied international business administration with a focus on marketing and logistics. And one of the girls that was starting with me when we were working at the company, she came to me and she's like, "I just asked the facility manager for the access to my workplace." And I was just like, "Girl, you just asked the janitor for the key. Like, calm down." It's one of the things that I hate the most, like this like over-bloviated, make things sound more important than they are. I just, actually she didn't even say that, she's like, "I just sent an, I think she said that she opened a ticket or she sent some kind of request to the facility manager in order to request access to her workplace. And I was like, yep, asking the janitor for the key is really a big deal apparently these days. It's one of the things that I hate about marketing, like all these like blah 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 and making things sound as important as is possible. It's like, ugh, not for me. Anyways, Hanzo is in, Uther is taken. This time he's going to be a solo support, I can guarantee you that much. We already have Uther in, so he's there. Plus, on top of that, we got Dehaka, we got Garrosh, and yeah, we still need a little bit of damage, and we also need a support. But Dehaka on Dragonshire gives them already a global. They should try and get a bit of a follow-up for Garrosh as well. That would also be pretty sweet. Anybody that could come in with a stun, Malfurion, Stukov, 2 options. And we get Tychus and Ana. Okay, definitely didn't expect that, but Ana with a sleep dart can of course make Garrosh's life a lot easier there as well. And can also deal a bit with the healing on the other side. So Ana as a choice for the enjoyers. That's also an interesting one. With ping disadvantage, really going for an Ana pick. Alright. Show me what you got, Lavakal. I'm ready. Plus, on top of that, we're getting our final pick, Brandon, coming in, last but not least, with a bit more damage on Dragonshire. Game number 2, we get a global for them as well. It's Falstad, as we are heading into the second game of the series. Squeal Team 6 against the Enjoyers. We are on Dragonshire in game number 2. We have Porky on Diablo. Chaotic is playing Hanzo. Nintori on Uther. Naz on Hogger. And Brandon on Falstad. Over on the right side of the map, it's the Enjoyers down a game in the best of 3. So they need 2 wins in a row now with Richu on Dehaka. We got Alvaros on Tychus. Arian on Garrosh. Itrex is playing Junkrat, and Lavakal is playing Ana. So we actually get an Ana play in game number 2, which I find really interesting, and I'm super curious to see how much he can do with that. I mean, what exactly is he going to get here? Because, I mean, at this point... Oh, there's already the stun. And boy, oh boy. That's Diablo gone. Diablo quickly eliminated, so he's being taken out. 1 kill to 0. It's basically a thing that Porky these days tries to emulate Lauba. Maybe somebody should have told him that that's not necessarily a good thing. Pulling a Lauba in the early game always means that you're dying before the 1 minute mark, and Porky has become a master of that. So I think he has some secret training from Lauba himself. We haven't seen in a long time, unfortunately. Naz at the top is also having some trouble, so that's the 2nd kill for the Europeans. 2 kills already. Damn. That is some pretty sweet play here. Squeal Team 6 having problems. Yeah, the Enjoyers with 2 kills to 0. Maybe it's just a weak early game, but the start at least very, very good for the team in red. So, top side, that's where Falstad is currently just sitting tight, trying to do his thing here as well. Over on the right, we have Alvaros, Arian, everybody just going for the camps. They just have spawned. Siege Giants are also getting attacked from the blue team as they're attempting to make a move there as well. And Diablo still roaming around. Porky needs to be a little bit careful. Needs to be cautious or he's going to learn his lesson quickly. Poor Diablo. This is trying to be terrifying, trying to be annoying, and then just BAM! Gets smacked around a little bit. With the globals in play for both of the teams, that of course now also means that they can start trying to ensure that nobody is just sneaking an objective away from them, so you have that extra mobility. Talking about mobility, Hanzo is getting bullied around too and nearly dies in the process. It was a nice attempt of the red team to get kill number 3 in this game. Tyke is now on level 4 with the bigger they are, so targeting Diablo. And they also... I am very interested to see how Ana and Garrosh are going to be able to play with these team fights. If you have a nice sleep dart setup, you can do so much with that combo. And yeah, I really want to see how powerful this is going to be for them. Contact healing is in. And on top of that, we're now getting the debilitating dart. Right now, he's still doing fairly well here. Double control though, and that's a Dragonite, by the way. Naz is going to get it. Diablo dies in the process. He needed to hold it for a bit longer. In order to do so, he sacrificed himself, but it allowed the team to get the first Dragonite. So the first objective is in and is already active in the middle of the map as Falstad has started to take some control over up at the top. So interesting development in the early game. 3 kills against 0, but giving up the objective is essentially what just happened here. Now, we still have some counter pressure applied by the red team at the bottom of the map as they're taking the gate and the tower down. But the Dragonite coming in. Yep, giving Junkrat a little bit of an ass kicking. And, of course, by now, the wall in the middle has fallen. Dragonite can still play around the Dragon's Breath here. Most of the time, it's really just worth it to play around the cooldown and not YOLOing too far out, because you're gonna lose the Dragonite way too quickly. You're getting way more value just using the ability time and time again and applying the damage over time to minion waves and also structures. So they did some solid work here. Wall in the middle destroyed, wall at the bottom of the map damaged. Not too bad, but the kill count still heavily in favor of the red team. Not that that in and of itself is going to do them any good, but it just shows how the game plays out and the style is being used. Anti-healer is now also ready with the build here. They go for Brandon. Nice play by Junkrat trying to isolate Falstad, but Porky was ready to help out. No cooldown for Garrosh, but they can't target him anymore. Early level 8 for the blue team. Haven't suffered too much after losing the heroes, and at the bottom of the map, the camp is pushing in as well now. Starting to do his thing there. All the way towards the top, we got Hogger. Just sitting on the wings, waiting for the objective to pop up again. Objectives, of course, respawning. In this case, Mercenary camps respawning, which is what they're going for immediately. And Falstad will have to mirror at least some of the moves later on that the Haka is going to make when the map starts to open up and some of the forts get destroyed. At this point, with all of them still on the map, not really that urgent just yet, but later on you want to be a bit more flexible when it comes to macro moves. So each team is just farming their side of the map. Nobody is setting up any big invades. Everybody is waiting for the next objective before they're getting aggressive again. The level 10 abilities are up next as both teams have already hit level 9. The Haka at the top and Falstad is now moving in. Yeah, but we also got Garrosh here. They go for the birdie! And Brandon goes down. Didn't have his cooldown ready to escape here. So Arian moving in from the side, spelled out the end of the chicken. That's 4 kills to 0. Job well done. Still not a single kill for Squeal Team 6. They're still waiting for number 1 here. Porky is trying to get the channel at the bottom of the map. By now we also have Nano Boost, so they're going to boost Junkrat a bit. No surprises with the ults. Maybe the one thing to point out is that we get Horda pulled over Shockwave. We have a Hanzo Arrow potentially into an Apocalypse if they're going to try for the combo. And Garrosh went for the Warlord's challenge. So Il's going to try and taunt here as much as he can. But the attack coming through the middle now, down at the bottom of the map in the meantime. Chaotic is sitting tight here, and yep, they are trying to at least deny the second Dragonite. The first one, letting that one slide, fair game. But if you then also lose the second one as these things start to scale, then you're going to find yourself in a lot more trouble as the games continue. So, as is, the attack over towards the middle. There's another flip against Porky, and he dies again. Oh, Junkrat though. Junkrat also eliminated. He falls. We have a lot of action happening over the map. At the top, they went for the Hakan. We're trying to get a kill there. Down at the bottom of the map, with Tychus being the one to be nano boosted here. Oh, they go for Hogger, and they take him down. Big push at the top. Falstad has a camp that can assist him, and they are doing some serious work here. So, yep, absolutely brutalizing the topside fort. At the bottom of the map, the red team is trying to repay them in kind, as they're also starting to nibble away the hit points. 6 kills to 1. Already tell the tale how the team fights are going so far, but structurally the blue team rotates well and has done significant amount of damage, specifically topside where the entire fort has been destroyed now. So yeah, structurally they're again taking the lead. And we've seen in game number 1 already how quickly they later on were able to utilize that to their advantage and just control the map during big team fights around the objective, because they still had fountains that they could use. So something to definitely pay attention to here. But at the bottom of the map, we're having the next camp about to be claimed. The blue team sniffed it out already though. They're coming in with Falstad and Garrosh. Is he able to get something done? Maybe a heal or two? Nah, Garrosh is gonna fall. Garrosh falls, but so does Hogger. Tychus again, nano boosted, doing serious work here. double control the Haka in the middle. So with both shrines under the belt of the blue team, a chance for them to maybe move towards the mid lane and get themselves another Dragon Knight. But as already spelled out, they're currently looking at the red team doing everything they can to at least retake one, and they grab the bottom. 7 kills to 2 with level 13 talents on both sides now. And Ana, a little bit low. They can't get her though. They can't get her. The Apocalypse stunned out at least Junkrat. Good gas to save the day for them. But Porky, is he going to get away? Hanzo, Divine Shield needed to be used in order to save him. 7 kills to 2. Still a bit more momentum for the red team as they're trying to push in. Damage output, we got Tychus on 30,000. Nearly doubling what we're seeing from the opponent's team now. So he is really doing work. Those nano boosts, of course, emphasizing this even further. Brandon should be able to escape from the Haka. I don't think that Richu can catch up here, and he already gave up on the chase. 17,000 damage on Hanzo, 16,000 on Falstad. So the two of them also starting to get a bit closer here. It's gonna be a wild game. I mean, again, you have to win 2 in a row if you're the red team and you want to make it straight to the winner's match. They go for Porky again. They've definitely identified the weakling at the front line and are farming Diablo. That's the 4th time now that he goes down. With Tychus in the mix, is obviously difficult for him. Once that he burns the hit points down, it's gonna get real rough, and that's what we're seeing from Tychus over and over again. The bigger they are, kicks in, and then they're just shredding him away. That leads to a fort destroyed at the bottom of the map, but the blue team reacted in the middle by taking another one out too. Or at least getting super low. Falstad is fighting at the top, so they're essentially splitting their aggression onto 3 lanes. Lots of damage done here. Losing a fort, but still getting a lot of counter value in the process. But they might get chased here. Isolation. Yeah, but Hogger makes it out of the fight. Arrow missed, and the Apocalypse combo, of course, therefore falling short. But that would have been the turnaround moment. If the arrow connects and then the Apocalypse extends the stun, they might have been able to turn it and take 1 or 2 heroes down of the Enjoyers. So the blue team doing what they can here, with Falstad flying down to the bottom of the map, trying to deny the pressure that was being set up by the Enjoyers. Their whole goal, of course, to maybe get a Dragon Knight here too. But the chase is still on, and they're going for the camp now. They identified that they were there, and now hope to get a kill here. They go for Porky, and they isolate him again. Hogger is the one to die, though. They want the camp, they're gonna get it. Hogger's gone, Porky survives this time, Diablo makes it. But with the camp now moving towards the top, they could apply pressure there. And they're just running the entire game a numbers advantage. At least that's what it feels like. 9 kills to 2. Level 16 kicks in just a bit faster for them now. So they have a talent advantage that they can try and run here, which is exactly what's going on. Bird down at the bottom of the map, hasn't even rejoined with the team. Instead, just trying to get some damage in against the wall and take that out. It's a wild game. It's all over the place. Teams are really attempting to not only capitalize on kills that they're getting, but every single time that the blue team in particular loses a hero, they're still thinking, okay, where can we get value? When they push for structure, where can we go to destroy another tower, another wall? How can we leverage Falstad the best in order to use this global so that we will never fall too far behind? And despite the big gap in experience, you just look quickly towards... sorry, the big gap in kills. You look quickly to experience and you see that that gap has not been extended by too much. So, yeah, not too shabby. Alvaros, Arion, everybody just moving down towards the bottom of the map now. Atrax currently sitting tight here too, and they are going to grab it. Nobody is invading that. Nobody's going to make a move for this. Porky, Nintori, Chaotic, they're all sitting at the side getting their Siege Giants. Nothing else that they're currently doing here. And yeah, the pressure for the bot lane apparently, with an idea of trying to go for the keep wall, as it seems. If the Haka's coming in, they're running this with 4-5. But the camp is getting targeted quickly, and there's also a Siege Giant camp that's getting used in the process. Nice! Arrow is out, okay. Job well done. Dodged by everybody. Garrosh, though, still a bit low, and he falls. Tychus, nano boosted, the Riptire kill against Hogger, so it allows them to at least go kill for kill here. Able to take 1 out. 10 kills to 3. Yeah, and in the middle we now get Brandon farming experience again and keeping his team in range. And getting a Dragon Knight potentially. The Haka, yeah, just in time. Close call though. 1 second, and it might have been Dragonite number 2 for the blue team. But as it stands, we have it denied. 10 kills to 3 now overall. Diablo also jumping in again as they are trying to steal the camp. I'm not quite sure if that's going to work out for them, because now they're moving towards the camp to claim it. Falstad is taking the shrine at the top. Could try and go for the Dragonite if he flies in, but Garrosh is back. And I don't think that they're going to allow them to easily take an objective just like that. They're going to steal it. Hogga has died 5 times now. Damn, they're already going for Odin. Mega early Odin here. They really want that fight. They go for the bird, and they cannot kill him. Falstad is still alive. Hanzo falls instead. So they take Hanzo down, and now they focus on Uther, and he dies too. That's another 2 kills for the European team. 12 kills, 2-3. Starting to look better and better for them. Now they're taking that half-level lead. Now they have the Haka at the top. Damage done in the middle as they're waiting for the double control on the shrine so that they can go for the objective and get that 14-15 minute Dragonite. So that's the opportunity, and even before they're getting the objective, they're already moving in to grab themselves a fort in the middle. Or at least get it low in HP. Falstad, they have nothing to really lock him down here, but good damage still done, so it makes it much more difficult for the blue team to defend now. But with the fort fallen, we are absolutely identical in structures destroyed, and now they're coming in to try and take the wall at the bottom of the map. Open up that keep, open up an opportunity for later on, and this is exactly where they're moving in with the help of Siege Shines, with the Dragonite, with essentially the entire team, and even Catapults assisting them here, and it doesn't look good for that keep at all. They're gonna lose this. They should lose it. The poke is continuing, and they are getting Diablo. He had a soul stack, so he's going to be back any moment now. But it doesn't change the fact that he died again, and level 20 is now available for the red team as the experience just put them over the top. But they're not sieging. Oh, well, scratch that. Here's big red button. Immediately Odin again, and he's just like, wait a second, boys. I think we can get this one. So yeah, Odin is taken. And currently he's like, well, what am I going to do with this now? Trying to attack the middle at least a bit, steal the siege shines away. I suppose at some point they were also thinking whether or not they would be able to go for the core directly. Knowing this team and the plays that they've been making over the last couple of days, that would have been a thing. But they're not. They're trying to not risk anything here. They're playing it safe. They know that they're ahead now, and that bot lane in particular is a huge problem for Squeal Team 6. Because they haven't taken a fort out at the bottom of the map yet. And with that, it means there's catapults in every single lane and 0 counter pressure. So they are going by default. They're going to run into problems here. For sure. They're definitely going to run into problems on this. So, yeah, might get a little bit dicey. Might get a little bit tricky. But all the way up at the top, Richu still sitting tight here, using the globals as best as he can, pushing out the lane, defending against the camp that was set up here. And 13 kills now, 2-3. Top of that. Yeah, Alvaro's getting a little bit aggressive here. Tigers every single one. Like, arrgh! And just goes for it. But, yeah. Objective is popping up in 20. So, stage is set. If you get an objective now, you can technically go for the core if you're the red team. Blue team might not quite be in the same situation, the same boat yet, but they're getting closer and closer. So the next team for the next objective is essentially going to decide a lot of how this game is going to go. And if we're going to get game 3 or if this is going to be a 2-0 victory. So far, there's absolutely no denying that it was the red team that was running the show. 10 kills ahead, taking the keep down. But then again, on the other side, not really being able to go for the core yet. And one fort is still standing, the fort at the top lane. So that's another one that has to be pointed out here. But alright. How much further can they go now? 13 to 3 kills. This is going to change soon. It's the globals that are really playing the biggest role right now. Falstad is flying to the top to claim one of the shrines, can always stay there. And then we have the Haka making very similar plays. You have the globals to try and take control whenever there's an opportunity. Then again, 52 stacks now for Falstad. Talking about stacks, by the way, Diablo is not fully stacked. So they need to be very careful with him. If he dies now, he's going to be down for the entire duration. And at that point, playing without a tank in this situation is going to be more than a little bit concerning. So need to be very careful that they're not losing Diablo, at least not until he's able to properly stack. They are trying for the attack at the top, but they can't quite lock the Haka down. It was a good idea and a nice attack by Porky, but again, not enough to really see him to death here. Everybody is just still mega careful. Nobody wants to lose the game simply because they have a hero out of position and then just die, end up with a 4 versus 5. Can't recover from it. Damage output 70,000 from Tigers, 45,000 from Hanzo. Yeah, the Haka is now still sitting at the top, taking the catapults out. This is a lane that is the biggest problem for them. It's not quite the same problem as we've seen for the blue team at the bottom of the map, because at least they still have their keep, but it's still an enormous amount of potential catapult pressure that they have to deal with, and you gotta be cautious there. Falstad also with 186,000 is the top damage dealer when it comes to wave clear, when it comes to sheer siege damage. Junkrat is 30,000 behind, but yeah, nowhere near really of what we're seeing there from them. Uh-oh. This time they go for the Arca again at the top, and they grab him. That is the one thing that shouldn't really happen, and now they might be able to get a Dragonite here. Yep, here's the issue. This is the problem right there. Arrow, and it connects as well. Yeah, Diablo has enough time to come in and isolate another target, and Garrosh is just gone. That's 2 heroes down. That's a Dragonite guaranteed. And this is now the opportunity that they, of course, have been waiting for. Maybe the blue team can win this one after all. Maybe they got the chance to now move in and just take them down. Fantastic play by them. I mean, honestly, this is exactly what they need right now. Opportunities like this in the late game allow them to turn the game around. They were trailing by 10 kills, but now they're just coming through and they are absolutely wrecking people. Nicely done. 2 kills. First it was the Haka, and then it was Garrosh that died. And this might just become the biggest problem, and also the moment where the game changed and where it ended. 5 kills to 13, and they are now pushing for it. Coming in, making their moves, trying to go for the core here. And yep, this is, or at least for the keep. Taking the first keep out, going for the fort at the bottom of the map. This is also going to relieve some pressure, obviously, from the bot lane, which is something that they are definitely going to welcome here too. But this just hurts. This was a massive problem. And it's great for the blue team. The Haka is back, of course, and is now doing exactly the same thing that he did before he was caught. He's sitting at the top. Keep destroyed plus a fort destroyed by Squeal Team 6. We're 21 minutes into the game. They haven't been trying to aggressively end things here, but they find themselves in a better spot now. The bot lane is easier to defend. Mid lane is great for them too. And if they have a chance, they now can go directly for the core. So they not only even things out, but they have essentially taken the lead at this point. With all the kills that we got from the red team earlier, it still doesn't amount to anything if you're not able to take your opponent down. Taking the keep at the bot lane was important, but they need to do more than that. So as it stands, it's all a question of who wins the next fight, because now both of the teams have an opening to go for the core if they need to. And yeah, that's likely what we're gonna get here. Trying to go for the core and take them out. So, who's gonna claim another kill? There's already Diablo in a bit of trouble, but also nice attempt to go for Garrosh. The Gus kind of isolated him a little bit, but of course initially it was really Hanzo's arrow that was the big one. Richu, the Haka, as low as Garrosh. The two of them really struggling here, but they're both able to escape. But this was another close one. This was another close call that could have backfired for them. So, yep. Gotta be very, very careful that you're not gonna get destroyed here. What a series, honestly. What a second game. Shrine activates again, that will force the teams into the middle by default. Yeah, and again, Diablo. But every time that Garrosh is making his move now for Diablo and tries to isolate him so he can get a kill, he becomes the target very quickly and is dropping in hit points super fast. So it becomes a big gamble. Becomes a very big gamble. Because he could be the one that ends up dying. And then it just is a disaster. So right now we have still everyone looking for opportunities. Falstad, of course, at the top. Still repositioning to get themselves a bit some control. We have the same happening at the bottom of the map, and we might see a Dragonite for them. Now the red team is in real trouble because they missed out on taking one of the shrines, so they have to go into the middle to face off against their opponents here. The Haka can't make that move. The Dragonite is simply taken! The Dragonite is simply taken. Arrow gets fully dodged. Whew. That is a long distance arrow. Damn. That one is going to end up in the next game if it comes to it. But I think that's what the blue team is now trying to prevent from happening. But instead of going directly for the core, what they are doing is move through the bottom of the map and try and take another keep down. Odin is instantly popped. Tychus reacts and gets punted away, which is, by the way, a meme in and of itself. Why can the Dragonite just simply kick Odin away? Riptire is also taken out. They're going to lose their keep. 24 minutes in, and this is 2 keeps gone. Odin gets kicked around again, and now they're trying for the core. And the Dragonite hits hard. Falstad with Wind Tunnel, with Gust. Their core will lose hit points, but can they end it? Can they finish it? That's the question. Diablo's making his move with an Apocalypse. The core is at 70%. Porky has to move back out here. Hogger pogging around, 71%. Chaotic in trouble. Hanzo trying to escape here, and they're all just retreating. The core still in play. The game's not over yet. 71%. The Enjoyers still have a chance. Enjoyers still have an opportunity. Oh my god, that topside keep. At this point, you gotta ask yourself if it would be worth it for Falsa to simply fly in, commit Sudoku, and just take it out. It might even be worth it. By the time that they're crossing the map, Falsa is nearly back and they can start defending. So, yeah, damn. I would eliminate the last keep of the game. And Falstad is already pushing the top lanes. He's not going to commit suicide for it, but he is definitely going to try and do it at the top. And the red team is attempting to be aggressive at the bottom of the map, so not even defending this. This is all of the keeps destroyed. I think we're going to see a bit of a Hail Mary move at this point. I mean, eventually. They got to do something, right? I mean, seriously. You can't just play a slow and safe game against your opponents if you find yourself in that spot. That's just not a thing. So the halves are already happening as the top lane gets pressured. The thing is, the blue team can now play this very slow. Very slow. For them, it's really beneficial to play a slow game now. There's no need whatsoever to make aggressive moves here. They can just play it slow, wait for the next objective. Catapults will pressure the red team's core. And let's not forget, we're also quite late in the game. We're already at the 26-27 minute mark. So these catapults that are spawning have scaled heavily and will do enormous amount of damage by themselves already. So the Haka is going to have his hands full just defending the lanes, and the rest of the red team is going to hope for opportunities to open up. And the worst thing that Squeal Team 6 could do is give those opportunities to their opponents. So, yeah, up at the top, we got Brandon taking control again. Blue team is already orienting themselves towards the core. Red team is pushing at the bottom of the map, trying to push this out a little bit. Hogger is trying to defend this. There's a camp, there's catapults at the top. Falstad is still sitting there, trying to escort another one in. The Haka is reacting to it. It's a wild one. They're trying to be aggressive. They need to make a move. Nano boosted Odin, and they're going for the core. It's all that they can do here. But immediately Junkrat gets murdered. Just absolutely murdered. And it seems that Ada is also going to get destroyed. Diablo's coming in, and look at that wind tunnel. Catapults are already on the blue team's core, so they're losing on 2 grounds. Oh, sorry, the red team's core. They're losing the fight, and they're losing the core at the same time. Richu is just accepting his fate. It's a 5-man team wipe, as the Winions are having an absolute blast over here. Catapults might not even be able to end it. 12%. Come on, baby. 7 and... Nope. That's going to be the heroes. The Winions, not quite for the win. Single digits, maybe another catapult shot here, but it is a 2-0 victory for Squeal Team 6. They move on to the winner's match. He had the last chance qualifier. GG. Well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.